And welcome back to another edition of the Let's Talk Short Track Racing podcast. I'm Jake Wilson and happy to be back again with you here this weekend as we take a look around all the things that are going on in short track racing. We will go back and take a look at a recap of the Winchester 400 that took place at Winchester Speedway this past weekend. We'll talk about big win there for one of the biggest names in short track racing, who adds another marquee crown jewel event to his already incredible short track career. A couple of championships and champions were crowned over the weekend in that race as well. Also preview some big stuff coming up this next weekend. Season finale for the Cars Tour as they head to the North Wilkesboro Speedway for the late model stock cars, as well as the Pro Late Models and the Smart Modified Tour also going to be there at North Wilkesboro Speedway this weekend coming up on Flow. We'll give you a little bit of a preview of what's to come in that event coming up this weekend. We'll also touch on some World Crown news that was announced a little bit earlier today as we get closer and closer to the running of the World Crown 300 at Cordele Motor Speedway coming up not this weekend, but the following weekend, October the 25th. And we've got UARA Sportsman Series. I'll be back at the Freedom Factory here this next weekend for their season finale. Give you a preview of the Mellon 175, as well as the Oscar Holmes 60 for the Oscar Holmes Memorial 60 for the Pure Stocks. Big race coming up there at the Freedom Factory as well. And our special guest tonight, we're switching things up a little bit, doing things a little differently here on the Let's Talk Short Track Racing podcast. This is going to be an in-house interview, literally, from the shop, from the garage at Grant Thormeyer Racing. You're going to be hearing from one of the guys that helps get the cars to and from the racetrack and works really hard back behind the scenes, preparing all of the cars with Grant Thormeyer Racing. Former driver and now crew member for Grant Thormeyer Racing. That's going to be Wayne Deline. We're going to talk about kind of the ins and outs and what goes on behind the scenes and what a week looks like for one of the mechanics there on a super late model or pro late model team that races throughout the country. And we'll look forward to catching up with Wayne. Erin Wilcoxon is going to be back with us again a little bit later on. She's going to be chatting with Wayne. So we look forward to catching up with them here in just a little bit. And we appreciate everybody that's tuned in each and every week here on the Let's Talk Short Track Racing podcast. For me, I was at the Freedom Factory this last weekend. Ultima 600 and Danger Ranger event. 118 Nissan Ultimas racing around a 3/8 mile for 100 laps. Sounds about as crazy as you would think it was. And crazy event, good time, packed, sold-out grandstand for over 175 cars for just 3 divisions. So look forward to being back at the Freedom Factory coming up again this weekend with the UARA Sportsman Series, but we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But we want to start with the ASA, with the Stars Tour, up at Winchester Speedway, Winchester, Indiana, for the running of the Winchester 400 as they get ready to wrap up and conclude the ASA Stars Tour as well as the CRA Super Series. They've still got the All-American 400 still to come, but this is going to be one of the final point races of the season. So for Cole Butcher, he was looking to capture the national title coming into the weekend. He was trailing Gavin Bushell in the CRA point standings, so kind of a tight battle there. So that was something to keep an eye on. But when it came time to the race, tell me if you've heard this before, but Ty Majeski, behind the wheel of a super late model, absolutely dominating an event and racing with not Toby Nuttleman and his Toby car for the 3rd year in a row. Ty Majeski teaming up with Michael Hind and Michael Hind Racing to field his entry for the Winchester 400. And I heard Ty kind of mention it in some post-race interviews that that Hamke race car maybe just suits the Winchester Speedway just a little bit more than perhaps his Toby car does, where he's had some, ton of success, not only in Wisconsin, but down here in Florida as well, as we saw last year with the Bigley Memorial. But Ty, a little bit of a different car this week, a little bit of a different look. He had the neon flames that we've been accustomed to seeing Michael Hind sport over the course of the last few seasons. And for Ty and the team, They just went out and straight up dominated this race. 400 lap event to go out there racing against some of the best super late model competition in the entire country. And when it's all said and done, you lead 350 of the 400 laps. That's just incredible, impressive. But it's what we've come to expect with Ty Majeski. But for him, in winning the Winchester 400 for the first time, that's another crown jewel event, another feather in the cap for Ty Majeski on his incredible super late model career. I mean, where do we start? Coming off the championship last year in the Craftsman Truck Series, no big deal. Winner of the Bigley Memorial last year, there's another big event you cross off. 2-time Snowball Derby winner in 2020 and 2023. 5-time winner of the Rattler. 5-time winner of Oktoberfest. 3-time winner of the Florida Governor Cup, which he's going to have an opportunity to potentially go down and win a 4th a little bit later on here this year. But crosses this one off, wins the Winchester 400. I mean, when you look at it and you think of the crown jewel type events, the only one that really remains off of his schedule, if you want to go ahead, let's throw the World Crown back into that mix now as well. But really, it's just the All-American 400, and that's going to be coming up in a few weeks in Nashville. So I know Ty and the rest of his group, they're going to have that race and that event circled. And could you potentially see, could we see a legit Triple Crown winner? Could we see Ty win the Winchester 400, win the All-American 400, and then chase after a Tom Dawson Trophy later this year with a victory in the Snowball Derby, which would be his 3rd. It's going to be a tall task for him to pull those off, but if anybody can do it, it's the driver from Seymour, Wisconsin. So congrats to Ty Majeski as he wins. Again, led 350 laps of the race, but how about with 15 to go, some crazed fan in the grandstands not really happy with Ty running away with it? His idea of voicing his displeasure or voicing their displeasure was taking a beer can and chucking it out on the racetrack and chucking it at our leader, Ty Majeski. Not what we want to see, race fans. Not how the type of behavior that we want to see, especially in a big event like the Winchester 400. But from what it sounds like, Bob Sargent personally went and took care of that and escorted that particular race fan or attendee from the Speedway. So, again, another story coming out of that race is the runner-up. Dawson Sutton continues to be on an absolute tear to end 2025. Chatting before the show here with my producer, Alec, and for me, it's hard to remember when the last time Dawson Sutton really struggled in a super late model event. It seems like they have just been firing on all cylinders. You think about the year that Dawson has had racing in the Craftsman Truck Series and then jumping behind the wheel of his super late model throughout the year, getting a ton of experience, a ton of track time, and it's starting to pay off. It's paying off at a really important time of the year when you've got some really big races with some big paydays and some big checks on the line. And for Dawson Sutton, he's really setting himself up for a big signature win potentially here at the end of the season with some of these big races coming up. But kudos to Dawson Sutton and the Rackley War team there coming home with a great second place finish. Coming home 3rd was Cole Butcher, had the opportunity to claim the Stars Stars Tour Championship, had a big lead built up, just needed to go out and have a solid day, and that's exactly what he did. So we can officially say that for 2025, Cole Butcher and the Donnie Wilson Racing Team, they are your ASA Stars National Tour champions. So congratulations to them. But it wasn't done there. He had such a good run with that 3rd place run. He was battling Gavin Boschel for the CRA championship, and Gavin had some trouble during the race. It put him in, had some trouble where he caught the outside wall, ended his day prematurely with his troubles, his misfortunes, and Cole having a 3rd place run. Not only is Cole your Stars Tour National Champion, but he's also your CRA Super Series champion. So 2 championships in one day for Cole Butcher and the Donnie Wilson Racing Team. So congratulations to them. And I also saw the announcement that Cole is going to get another opportunity to drive with Stuart Friesen's team in their second truck coming up at the season finale coming up at Phoenix. So best of luck to Cole and the team there. So back to the results for the Winchester 400. You had Billy Van Meter, who brought it home in fourth, had a lot of contact with Derek Thorne early on in the race. Van Meter able to hold on to a fourth place finish, coming home fifth. Stephen Nassy, good solid top five effort for him. Carson Brown in the Anthony Campy Racing number 81 was sixth. Kyle Steckley in the Rhett Jones Racing at number 30 brought it home in seventh. Blake Rowe in the 71 was eighth. George Phillips was ninth. And another one of the Donnie Wilson entries. And rounding out the top 10 was Casey Klein. Some notables, you had Matt Craig bringing it home 11th. Derek Kraus was 13th. Gavin Bushell, who I mentioned, trouble late in the event, still able to salvage a 15th place finish. You had Chase Pinsino finishing in 16th. Coming home in 17th was Jake Garcia and Derek Thorne after having his troubles earlier with Billy Van Meter. And it really started earlier on in the race. Derek Thorne was absolutely ripping the fence and got into the wall several times early on into the event. A 18th place finish for Derek Thorne. He's got to be a little disappointed with that. So next up for the Stars Tour, it will be the All-American 400 at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. That is going to be taking place on Sunday, October the 12th, the season finale for both the Stars Tour and the CRA Super Series schedule. Sticking in the ASA world now, under the direction of the Southern Super Series, we will touch on the World Crown 300, which is coming up next weekend, Saturday night, October the 25th at Cordele Motor Speedway. Some news dropped today. Not only are they beginning to release some of the entries for the event, the first two entries have been announced, and they are two-time UARA national winner this year, Colin Allman, in the number 67, driver out of Plant City, Florida. Also joining him, driver out of Georgia, Byron Outdoor Superstore, sponsored number 17 of Hudson Bolger, is also going to be taking part in that big race in his home state. So the first two entries of that race have been announced. Stay tuned to the Cordele Motor Speedway Facebook page and their social media, as they're going to be releasing two entries every day until the lead up of this race. Should expect a big field and a who's who of super late model drivers going to compete for that big payday and that big crown. But the other news that came out today was the Grand Marshal has been named for the 2025 edition of the World Crown 300. And it's going to be none other than Jim Gresham. Jim Gresham, of course, of Gresham Motorsports Park, the owner and operator of that facility, which was the home for many, many years, and the original home of the World Crown 300. They're going to honor Jim and the legacy that Gresham Motorsports and the big role that it played in the history of the World Crown 300 by naming him as the Grand Marshal for the race coming up again on Saturday, October the 25th. It's going to be sanctioned by the Southern Super Series. It is a non-points event, however, so don't miss that one. A lot of big super late model drivers coming up. That's the next. We've kind of talked about it. I've talked about it at least the last couple of weeks. The different big name crown jewel events that are coming up, like the All-American 400, like World Crown, like the Snowball Derby, like the Florida Governor's Cup and the Big Wheel Memorial, all coming up. So if you're a fan of super late model racing, you're going to love the next month and a half of the calendar, as it seems like every weekend or every other weekend, it's another big race. Speaking of big races, we turn our attention to the Cars Tour. Rocking my North Wilkesboro Speedway shirt here tonight that I picked up when I was there at the return a couple of years ago for the All-Star race. It's the season finale for the Cars Tour. Late model stocks will go for 125 laps, 100 laps for the pro late models. 26 late model stock cars entered with 22 pro late models, so a huge field for both of those races. On the late model stock side, Landon Lewis comes into the final race of the year with a 12-point advantage, looking to close out the championship, win his first ever Cars Tour championship, but he's got to do it by beating Connor Hall, one of the best in the business, driver the number 88 for Junior Motorsports. They've got a 34-point advantage over Cade Brown. Cade Brown looks like he is going to be settling for third this year, but technically not mathematically eliminated just yet. Over on the pro late model side, for Ben Mayer, he's basically just got to kind of show up, start the race, get out there, and he is all but wrapped up the pro late model side of the championship. He's got a 45-point advantage over Brandon Lopez. But the battle for the Owners' Championship in the pro late models is an interesting one. You got the Rick Ware Racing number 51 team. They've only got a 4-point advantage over Ben Mayer's team, the Setzer group. Just a 4-point gap there, and it's a 17-point advantage for Rick Ware Racing over the number 47 of Brandon Lopez of Lopez Racing. We saw TJ DeCare get the win with them a couple of weeks ago, and I saw here for North Wilkesboro, they're going to be changing up the number. TJ runs the 88 whenever he races down here in Florida, and they're going to go ahead and slap an 88 on the side of the car there for the final race of the pro late model season. So we'll see if TJ can go back-to-back. You take a look back earlier this year, Landon Lewis, he was the winner earlier this year at North Wilkesboro. It was his second of what has become 4 victories on the season. He would love to cap off the season with his 5th win and to claim the championship and to take the ride up the elevator, up the lift, up into that historic victory lane, looking for that fifth win. For Connor Hall, he would love to try to get that first Cars Tour championship. He's been the runner-up twice before in his career, and it would be 4 championships for Junior Motorsports if he would be able to get around Landon Lewis. But he's going to need Lewis, he's been so steady, so consistent all season. He would need him to have some big-time issues in order for him to pass him. But 12 points certainly can be made up. We have seen crazier things happen. Big thing coming up, too, for the Pro Late Model feature is it's going to be the final event of the Harvick Cup. You're going to have Keelan taking on Kevin. They've had 6 previous races this year. Advantage has gone to the kid just a little bit. Keelan has outdueled his dad 5-1, including 3 victories in those 6 races. So Keelan's going to claim the Harvick Cup. We've got that, but could Kevin maybe try to outduel him just one more time here at North Wilkesboro? Looking forward to seeing both the Harvicks there in action in pro late model competition. But that's not the only series that's going to be racing at North Wilkesboro. The Smart Modified Tour. Little bit of drama this last weekend with the Smart Mods as they were at Tri-County Speedway, where we had I'm going to call it like a protest off between Carson Lofton and Burt Myers. They were not happy with each other and how they raced each other at the end of the race. So what do? You get into victory lane and say, well, I'm protesting you. Well, if you're protesting me, well, then I'm protesting you. So looked like it was going to be a long night for Smart Modified Tour officials. But the Lofton team eventually pulled their protest, paid the $500 to the Myers team for pulling the motor. The Myers team, however, they did not pull their protest, but it came out on Monday earlier this week that Smart Modified Tour officials did officially declare Carson Lofton as the winner of the race. It's going to come down to 3 drivers for the championship here. But Smart Modified, remember, it's a kind of a winner-take-all kind of format, similar to what we see in NASCAR in the top 3 series there. It's going to come down to Luke Baldwin, Ryan Newman, and young Paulie Hartwig III. All 3 of them are set for a championship battle coming up here at North Wilkesboro. Be sure to tune into all the Cars Tour and the Smart Modified Tour action, of course, coming up this weekend. And all that, of course, can be seen live on Flow Racing. So we're going to take a quick break here on the Let's Talk Short Track Racing podcast. When we come back, we've got a big UARA Sportsman Series event coming up at the Freedom Factory this weekend. I'll be on the call, and I will give you a preview of what's to come this weekend from the Freedom Factory when we return on the Let's Talk Short Track Racing podcast.
5-star bodies, the most advanced bodies on the market, aerodynamically engineered, manufactured from the highest grade and lightest weight materials, tested tough for optimum performance, the highest quality and most durable products you'll find anywhere. Our products help racers around the world reach victory lane. Winning never looked so good. Faster, lighter, stronger, better. 5-star.
Race Car Engineering is your single source supplier for all your racing equipment. Dirt, asphalt, drag strip, street rod, or off-road. Their experts can keep you on the track and in the lead no matter what type of racing you do. Hundreds of brands, thousands of parts. Find them online at racecareng.com or call them toll-free at 800-882-7231 and make sure to ask for your free catalog. That's Racecar Engineering, 800-882-7231.
And we are back on the Let's Talk Short Track Racing podcast. Jake Wilson back again with you. Just kind of recapping things that happened up at the Winchester 400, as well as previewing the Cars Tour finale and the Smart Modified Tour finale coming up this weekend at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. That's not the only season finale going on coming up this next weekend. The UARA Sportsman Series heads to Bradenton, Florida's Freedom Factory for their final points race of the 2025 season. And what a season it has been. And it's all going to come down to the wire here in this final race. Details of this event starting to come out in the form of what is going to be a great car count. 33 UARA Sportsman cars are already registered. And there's a possibility you may add a couple of more. So it'd be great to see that number get above that 35 mark. That would be a really, really strong showing for the UARA Sportsman Series to wrap up, which is their final points race of the year. There's another race on the schedule at the Freedom Factory that's going to take place during the Bill Bigley Sr. Memorial Weekend with the UARA National Tour. That's going to be Thanksgiving weekend, Saturday, November the 29th. It's going to be the Sportsman Invitational. Keep that in mind. We'll talk about that here in a little bit here as we preview this race. Coming into this final event, Dodge Carlbert, who is the defending champion of the UARA Sportsman Series, comes in with a 32-point advantage, pretty sizable lead over Adam Briggs, who won the season opening race at the Freedom Factory this year. Briggs with just a 2-point advantage over third place Brandon Morris, who trails Carlbert by 34 points. So when you break it down for Carlbert, if Briggs were to go out and win the race, all Carlbert has to do is cross the finish line 18th or better, and he would secure the championship. If Brandon Morris were to win the race, Carlbert would just have to finish 19th or better. So as the car count rises, I don't think Carlbert necessarily wants to see a very big field, because that, God forbid if something were to happen to that Bunn Racing team, they would definitely want a bit of a smaller field to give them a little bit more of a cushion to be able to wrap up this championship. But Carlbert's been super consistent all year long, and I don't anticipate them to just kind of go out there and be like, okay, well, let's just run safe. If I know that team, they're going to go try to set fast time like they have 4 different times this year, and they're going to try to go out and they're going to try to win the race, which would be their 4th victory of the season. He's already had 3, he's had an incredible season. Got a win earlier this year in the middle of the year, back in May, at the Freedom Factory, and he'd look to try to get his 2nd victory of the season. But for Briggs and for Morris, they're going to kind of have to throw a little bit of a Hail Mary if they're going to get the championship away from Carlbert, as Carlbert would become only the 2nd driver to ever win 2 UARA Sportsman Championships, but he would be the 1st driver to ever do it in back-to-back seasons. Taking a look at some of the other aspects to keep an eye on, the Rookie of the Year battle for the UARA Sportsman Series has been a good one. Between 3 drivers, you've had Hayden Mowry, Palmer Hagg, and Sammy Coghill have been going head-to-head week after week all season long, and it's going to come down to this final race. All 3 drivers are right next to each other in the point standings. Mowry is 6th, Hagg is 7th, and Coghill is 8th. And each driver is separated by just 10 points. So Coghill, a little bit of an uphill battle. He'd have to gain 20 points on Hayden Mowry to take the rookie crown away from him. But for Palmer Hagg, I think that 10-point swing is definitely reachable. But don't forget, Hayden Mowry, the runner-up at the Freedom Factory back in May. So it's his best finish of the season the last time that the cars were here. So I think Mowry's certainly going to have an advantage coming into this, but don't count out Palmer Hagg and Sammy Coghill, who also had his best finish of the season, his only top 5, also at the Freedom Factory that night back in May. So we're going to keep an eye on that battle. Some other great battles. If you look back through the point standings, Coghill's in 8th. He's got a 14-point advantage over Jason Bartram, who Bartram was looking like he was going to have the best points finish of his career in the UARA Sportsman Series, but struggled just a little bit the last couple of races. We'll see if Jason and his team can salvage and get a good finish here at the end of the year, hang on to the top 10 in points, and possibly maybe gain a position or two. We'll keep an eye on that. You've got Kit McVeigh, who's trying to hold on to his first ever top 10 finish in the point standings. He's got an advantage over Joe Winchell. It was starting to get kind of tight, but only 2 points separating Winchell and McVeigh. So we're going to keep an eye on that battle as well. And I mentioned the Sportsman Invitational. The top 20 drivers in the point standings, they're going to automatically lock in and get an invitation to this race that's going to take place during the Bigley Memorial Weekend. It's not a points race, but it's all about bonus money and for you to get an opportunity to come and race and be a part of the Bigley Memorial. As it stands, this is a battle that I'm going to be keeping an eye on and watching all weekend long. James DeBose, he's 22nd in points, but the 2 drivers ahead of him, I mentioned 33 cars are entered in this race. The 2 drivers ahead of him in points are not on the entry list. So if James DeBose can go out and gain and earn at least 50 points, that would get him to jump ahead of Chad Rutherford, and that would automatically lock James DeBose into that invitational race. And I know for a driver that doesn't have sponsorship, that works on his own equipment, it's usually just him and maybe 1 or 2 people coming to help him. A lot of times it's just him. That extra bonus money at the end of the year would be huge. So keep an eye on that as well. And I was just kind of going over some of the great statistics and things that I saw for the UARE Sportsman Series throughout the season. You had 12 drivers that have entered all 9 of the races. You had 14 drivers that entered at least 8 of them, 15 drivers that registered and started 7 of them. And as you go down, more than half the races this year for a tour that sometimes doesn't necessarily get the commitment of drivers participating week in and week out. We had over 20 drivers. We're going to have 20 drivers that started at least 5 or half of the races this year. So that's a big commitment. 52 different drivers were registered. I think that number is going to increase by at least 1 or 2 drivers, because there's a couple of drivers that are entered for this Freedom Factory race that have not run yet this year. So that number might get closer to 54, maybe 55. Earlier the year, we had 31 cars at the Freedom Factory. That was our largest car count, but that is going to be broken this weekend when we start 33 of them. Average 24.8 cars per event. So if you're a track down in Florida, you're a track down in the Southeast, and you're looking to try to attract a good car count and a fan base, think of the UARA Sportsman Series, because you're almost guaranteed wherever they show up, even for races where teams are traveling 6, 7, 8, maybe even 9 hours away, to still have close to 20 cars starting that event. But especially in like our Central Florida area, I can almost guarantee you're going to get at least 25 cars to show up at your racetrack. So think about that as you're putting your 2026 racing schedule together, and maybe consider letting the UARA Sportsman Series come in and race a little bit in your backyard. Got a few drivers that are going to make some big milestone starts. Brandon Morris is going to become the first driver to ever start 70, yes, 70 UARA Sportsman Series events. That's, of course, the most all-time. A couple of other drivers. Jason Bartram is going to make his 50th start. That's going to tie him with Rex Struble for 4th all-time. Joe Winchell, 1 start behind that, is going to be his 49th start. You're also going to see a driver like Bobby Mobley, who's going to make his 30th career start. Dodge Carlbert on the verge of winning this championship. This will be his 25th start. And I saw on the entry list, Daniel Webster is registered in the RFD, Right Foot Down Motorsports #1. This will be his 20th career UARA Sportsman Series start. So also on tap with them, you're going to have the Oscar Holmes Memorial 60 for the Pure Stocks. Oscar Holmes, a former flagman in the state of Florida, primarily down at the 417 Southern Speedway, back when it was referred to as Charlotte County Speedway or Punta Gorda Speedway. I had the pleasure of working with Oscar briefly in a few instances at the DeSoto Speedway back in the mid-2010s, and Oscar was just as nice of a guy as you could think of, and one of the best people that I can look back and I can think fondly of getting to work with him, and some of the different people that I've had a chance to interact with over the year. Throughout the years, Oscar was certainly one of the good ones. And unfortunately, we lost Oscar this last year. So his family as well as Ricky Brooks and UARA and the folks at the Freedom Factory. They have put together a great payout and a great race, and we've got over 30 pure stocks registered for this Oscar Holmes Memorial 60. We're going to do Oscar proud this Saturday coming up. Great card counts for the sportsmen, great card counts for the pure stocks, and oh yeah, don't forget, it's the Freedom Factory. Of course, we're running Crown Vics. We got 30 of them as well. So we're looking like we might be right at about 100 cars in the pits in 3 divisions. So UARA, Sportsman Series, and just UARA in general, doing it again, packing the pits, and a great car count coming up and expected this weekend at the Freedom Factory. I'll be on the call, and you can check it out live on Racing America. But if you're in the area, make the trip. It's going to be worth it. Should be a beautiful night. Weather looks to be really good, and cars should be loving the little bit of cooler temperatures that we're starting to get in Florida, and I'm certainly looking forward to it. Again, you can watch all that action live on Racing America. Well, coming up next, we're going to have a little bit of a different interview. We've been chatting with some drivers that have really been making a name for themselves in the short track world, but we wanted to do some things a little different tonight. Our very own Aaron Wilcoxon is going to sit down and interview one of the guys that works with us here at the Grant Thormeyer Racing Team. He's a driver that is a former champion driver in the state of Florida that has kind of transitioned from being a driver to now one of the crew members that works behind the scenes at Grant Thormeyer Racing. And that, of course, is Wayne Deline. You're going to get to hear about Wayne's driving career, talk about what he does behind the scenes at the Grant Thormeyer Racing Team, and I believe we're also going to preview a new show that you're going to see exclusively on the Grant Thormeyer Racing Facebook and YouTube page. When we come back on the Let's Talk Short Track Racing podcast, you'll hear from Aaron Wilcoxon and Wayne Deline coming up next.
Buying or selling a home? It's more than a transaction. It's a strategy. I'm Amy Lynn, and I bring clarity, confidence, and results to your real estate journey. Whether you're searching for the perfect place to call home or preparing to list your home for top dollar, I've got you covered. With smart marketing, strong negotiation, and a network you can trust, I don't just help clients close, I help them win. Let's make your next move the right one.
When the heat's on, chill harder with Just Chillin' cooling products. Stay frosty, keep it cool, keep it fast, just chillin'.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Short Track Racing. Joining us this week, we have Wayne. Wayne is part of our GTR Racing team, and he also helps a lot on the farm, both when we are traveling, when he doesn't get to go on the road with us some, and also just day-to-day operations, making sure everything's mowed, keeping the animals fed. Welcome to Let's Talk Short Track Racing.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, we're excited. Let's go ahead and just kind of start from the beginning of what got you involved into racing. How long have you been in racing?
Oh, probably started late 2017. My best friend Craig Pollitt, he was running outlaw figure eights at Showtime, and he had an opportunity to get a new car, and he put me in his older car. So I started with that, which is probably not the optimal class to start in, having never raced before. But didn't do too bad. Ran the few last races of 2017. Got my feet wet with that, and then realized it was kind of pricey, a little bit out of my league. So we we both kind of stepped away from that, and we started running like strictly stocks. Started with those, and so 2018, I purchased my first strictly stock and ran the whole season. Did pretty good. Ended up third in the championship for that year, actually. And
At Showtime, still,
at
right?
Showtime,
Yeah.
yes, I've only raced Showtime. Just it was close to the house when we lived in Largo, so it was
Okay.
pretty quick to get there, and it was fun. Had a blast. Met a lot of great people, and then going into 19, I built a car. Me and Craig built a car. It was the wrong car, he said. It was a second gen. I needed a first gen, so I sold the car we built, bought another car, and ran the whole 2019 season with the mini stock, which is a step up from the strictly stocks, and ended up winning that championship that year, my first year in that. So that was pretty good. Since then, sold the car. Me and the wife bought a log cabin up on the river in Hernando County.
Okay.
And so I sold the car and started getting into ATVs and dirt bikes and fishing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Kind of scaled back. It was too far. We're kind of close to Citrus, but decided it was time for a change. I went out on top. And so fast forward 5 years,
Yeah.
I find Grant on Facebook. We were actually high school friends in Michigan.
Oh, wow.
We had lost touch for, 30 years.
Wow.
And he popped up. I'm scrolling one day, and I was like, "There's no way this is Grant from school." And sure enough, I sent a message, and he's like, "Yeah, hey buddy, we're up at a Chicago Green Bay football game up north, and when I get back, let's come down to the shop." And that's about here we are now.
Yeah.
He offered me a job, and I was like, "You know it, I'm in. Got to get my feet back into racing." And although I'm not behind the wheel, it's still a lot of fun. The guys are great. The drivers are awesome. Grant's a great guy to work for. And looking forward to many years.
Yeah,
Moving
for
on.
sure. And we always talk about how the racing community is such a tight-knit group. And I feel like that's the definition. You and Grant, what are the odds that you guys live in Michigan, in the same town up there, and then, 30 years later,
Yeah,
you're back in contact in a whole nother state
and
in
we've
the same
both
area?
and we've both been in Florida for 3 decades,
Yeah.
and I had no idea.
It's truly the definition of it's a small world, and
Yeah.
how tight knit the racing community always is too.
Yeah.
So let's go back a little bit to your championship year. Can you tell us a little bit more about kind of a few races that maybe stuck out to you in that year and what that championship meant to you at Showtime?
The championship was great. Excuse me. What stands out the most is I was being able for my mom to come and watch me do something like that, and my son,
Yeah.
and of course my wife, and she helped me a lot in the pits, getting me strapped in and boosting my confidence and stuff, because I was always nervous before a race and anxiety, kind of like I'm nervous now.
You're doing great.
But it was a good year. I stayed consistent all year. Now here's the thing. I didn't win a race all year. I did win some heat races,
Okay.
but I stayed consistent. Top fives, pretty much top tens all season long, and just staying consistent and not breaking down. There was a few instances, where I got put in the wall a little bit, but for the most part, stayed consistent. Showed up every weekend, and the way Yoho Robert had the points set up that year, it got down to like a championship 4. It came down to the last race, and
wow.
just being that consistent all year and playing my cards right, and I ended up getting the trophy. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. So how did that last race? You said it all came down to that race. How close were points? How much was that in your head the whole weekend?
They were pretty close. They started the last 4, the 4 of us dead last in the
Okay.
last race.
Oh boy.
And yeah, so I think I was out of the 4. There was 2 guys, and then I was third. And I think there was a fourth place guy. So we had to fight our way to the front, to get all past the guys that weren't in contention. And
Yeah.
so
Stay in one piece. It's
right,
a game of strategy
it
there
was.
too.
That was a struggle. One guy had bad luck, so I stayed in that 3rd position. So what had happened was, is we got to tech, and they said, okay, we need to count the gear, your gears in your transmission. So all 4 of us had to pull our transmissions out in tech.
Oh, wow.
And split them in half. And the way the rules went that season, if you had any DQs, your second DQ, you lost your points. The other 3 guys had had DQs that year. I didn't have any.
Yeah.
So I was the sole guy that had no DQs, so I was granted the win.
So were all of them transmission-wise? What happened on those? Everyone was found, or
Everyone was found. But the
Wow.
thing was a tech guy had switched. A guy quit doing tech, and they brought in another guy.
Okay.
Everybody was under the assumption that, okay, everybody ran that transmission. That was a given. It was a 355.
Yeah.
So everyone ran that, but all of a sudden we got a new tech guy, and now we got to
Change transmissions in the
right.
middle of the season.
So no one did, and no one was anticipating having to pull our transmissions out on race night. We were there till like 1 o'clock in the morning.
That is a headache when
Yes.
they are pulling motors and stuff into tech. That makes for a long night of racing.
It did. But we had a lot, and we all helped each other.
Yeah.
All 4 of us. Unfortunately, those guys had earlier issues in the season.
Yeah.
So they had a DQ at some point or another throughout that year.
Yeah.
And I didn't have any.
Yeah.
So I guess by default I won the championship, but
All that matters
at the
is
same
that you
time
won
I
the-
showed up.
Yeah.
My stuff was right.
We do not care.
And I walked away with it. Actually it's a championship belt.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought you were bringing that. for
It's
us.
right out there. I sent some pictures to Alec.
Okay.
Yep.
We'll put them up for you
Yeah.
guys to see for
Yeah,
sure.
I brought it in. Grant's out of town. He wanted to see it, so I brought it in, and so it's
Yeah.
pretty cool. He's got some other pictures of the cars and stuff like that.
Awesome.
So it was a fun time.
Yeah, and now you're working here at GTR and on the ranch.
Yeah,
Kind
yeah.
of tell us, this is your first full season traveling with us some.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a race that sticks out as your favorite here with the GTR team?
That would have to be Nick Neary's win at Auburndale.
Yeah.
That was an awesome night. I was
Yeah.
so happy that night for him.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was great.
that was a really cool. I
Yeah.
can speak on experience. That
Yep.
was probably one of my favorites too.
Yeah. And the second and third at Freedom Factory. That was a very good night.
Yeah.
That was a good time.
Yeah,
So,
we're looking forward to getting some more of those. Hopefully,
Yes.
we got the Bigley coming up here in about 6 weeks or so. So
Yeah.
hopefully we can get another. I mean, number 1 would be the best.
yes,
but,
sir.
Uh,
And we'd love that, wouldn't we?
what kind of take us through a day? We're kind of transitioning to we're gonna be introducing on our YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed on there, be sure to go check us out. It's called Grant Thormeyer Racing on YouTube. We're introducing a little bit of a new segment there called Wayno's World. So it's kind of going to be explain a little bit. It's a little bit of the day in the life here on the ranch and
Right.
at GTR, kind of working in the shop. Tell us like a little bit about. I know you've done one episode so far. Kind
Right.
of tell us what
Yeah.
we can look for in that.
Just a lot of interaction with the animals. We have a guy here at the ranch that does the feeding full time. I fill in and help with him when he needs help. But I make it a point every day to go out and get the goats and the sheep and give them the little snackins. I call them snackins and Bubbles and Hershey, the cows. I like to give them. They love cupcakes.
Oh, really?
So yeah, and bananas and all that. So I like to go out and see the animals at least twice a day if I'm in the shop.
Yeah.
But we're out there mending fences, mowing the pastures, doing the weed eating, filling up the pools for the ducks and stuff like that, and feeding the chickens, and giving the donkey snacks, apples, and the horse and the donkeys. They stay in the same pasture, and so just interacting with all the animals, fixing things, just whatever it takes, to make everything run smooth, and I try to put a little twist of humor into stuff,
Yeah.
you know me.
Yes.
They like to
Never a dull moment.
have a little fun when we're on the road, and I like to have fun at work, and I like to make people laugh.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my forte, I guess, to make
For
it fun.
All right, and we will be back with Wayne to kind of go over a little bit more about the ranch and stuff right when we get back from these messages.
Race Car Engineering is your single source supplier for all your racing equipment. Dirt, asphalt, drag strip, street rod, or off-road. Their experts can keep you on the track and in the lead no matter what type of racing you do. Hundreds of brands, thousands of parts. Find them online at racecareng.com or call them toll free at 800-882-7231 and make sure to ask for your free catalog. That's Race Car Engineering, 800-882-7231.
Buying or selling a home? It's more than a transaction, it's a strategy. I'm Amy Lynn, and I bring clarity, confidence, and results to your real estate journey. Whether you're searching for the perfect place to call home or preparing to list your home for top dollar, I've got you covered. With smart marketing, strong negotiation, and a network you can trust, I don't just help clients close, I help them win. Let's make your next move the right one.
Five-star bodies, the most advanced bodies on the market. Aerodynamically engineered, manufactured from the highest grade and lightest weight materials. Tested tough for optimum performance. The highest quality and most durable products you'll find anywhere. Our products help racers around the world reach victory lane. Winning never looked so good. Faster, lighter, stronger, better. 5-star.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Short Track Racing. We're back here with Wayne. We were kind of going over what Wayno's World is going to be. It's a new episode we're putting on our YouTube channel, which is Grant Thormeyer Racing. If you're not subscribed there already, be sure to go check it out. But yeah, so you were talking about how it's kind of going to be a day in the life. I think it's going to be more of a week in the life of Wayne is how we're going to do it. And you were talking about a little bit on the farm, kind of what you do. A little question I have is, do you have a favorite animal? I know there's a lot. I don't know if you can be biased, but
Pixie the white goat.
yeah.
Yeah.
What makes her stand out to you?
She's she's got a little bit of a limp, so she kind of got bullied by the other goats a little bit. So I just kind of took to her just because she's like the underdog. I've always been the underdog. So we got that connection.
Yeah.
so to speak. But I love them all the same. Bubbles, the big cow, he's great. He's got the worst breath in the world, but cupcakes don't help. But, and the baby cow, the new baby cow, she's pretty pleasant. She's finally get you to pet her nose here and there. If you got snackins, you got to have the snackins. So,
then she'll like you.
Oh, yeah. So she's not quite taken to the cupcakes yet, but
really?
I like Hershey and Bubbles. But
they like their sweet treats.
But I like them all. The sheep, she's a good girl. I like her too. And then the goats try to bully her because she's by herself.
And they're all in the same cage, right?
2 goats and the sheep in one.
Yeah.
And then we've got 3 goats in the back one.
Okay.
The 3 mean ones are in the back.
We got the sweet ones up front.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, and kind of take us through a day. We've talked a lot about what you do on the ranch. Take us through a day kind of when you're working both in the ranch and on the race team. Kind of what does that look like? That's a lot to balance, I'm sure.
Well, basically, first thing in the morning, I like to jump on the side-by-side or the four-wheeler and just make a run out there. We got, 15 acres, I think.
Yeah.
And so I just run around and check things out, see how the animals are doing, before our regular guy comes out and does his thing with them, his daily deal. But I just check the fences, check that everybody's doing good. There's been no intruders overnight, and all the gates are closed, and so check that out. Usually Grant will have a list. Hey, this needs to be done. He might see something I miss. Be a broken piece of fence somewhere needs mending, or some trees might need trimmed in certain areas, where they're hanging low. And so I just basically take care of that. And he doesn't keep me out there all day. He lets me come in and play with the race cars in the afternoons. So when it gets hot out there, but with the cooler weather, it's not going to be so bad being out there in the day. We just, Max was helping out a lot. We have 3 little pastures, and we took down 2 fences and put one down the middle. So there's 2 bigger pastures You know, a little bit bigger for the baby cow because she's separate from the big boys still. And then the other 3 goats have a little bit of room. So there's rumor there might be maybe another donkey coming along maybe soon.
Oh.
It's kind of the word on the streets.
Mm-hmm.
So
Stay tuned.
we'll
You'll
see.
be the first to show us on Wayno's World, I'm sure.
Yeah. We have our donkey Betty out there. She's a sweetheart too, and Clyde, our horse. So he's pretty cool. Good animals. They're fun to hang out with.
Oh, for sure. And kind of talk us through what you're hoping to accomplish with having Wayno's World.
Just some extra entertainment and make people laugh and just give them another side of the whole race shop ranch, you know, from my perspective. And I think it'll be fun. You know, might bring in some of the kids might start watching that a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
So I gotta watch my language out there. I guess
it's gonna be a challenge for you.
It is. Yes, it is. But Max, one of our drivers, he helps out a lot out there on the ranch too, and his favorite animal is Bubbles. He loves Bubbles.
He does.
Oh yeah.
We always hear about it for sure.
So yeah, we team up and go out there a little bit.
It's definitely a
Max
lot
will
of
be
work.
on the he'll be in the first episode, I guess, that's getting edited by Alex, because I wore the chest GoPro.
Yes.
So if you're hearing me but you're seeing him.
Okay.
Me and him interact, you know.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited to see that.
We need to get one of those 360s, so
all around.
maybe that. Yeah. So
the one you wear on your helmet, or something, isn't that the way it's done?
I think so. I'm not sure. I see guys on videos with motorcycles and they got them like hanging off, and you can see everything
all around.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, we'll have to get you.
Or we could stick one on Max one day when we're out there messing around.
And then we get a look at what Wayne does all
right.
day.
Yeah.
A little reverse of Wayno's
Right,
World.
you get to look at this pretty thing here.
It'll be
right.
definitely. I think it's going to be great to show kind of that we as a race team are more than just a race team.
Yes.
We have so much going on, and Grant really does. He loves animals so much, and it's a great way for us to incorporate what else we do, and that we're not only just in the shop working every day. We're coming up on Christmas. We're going to have Christmas tree sales coming up. So I'm sure through Wayno's World, we'll kind of see a little bit of a glimpse of behind the scenes.
Yeah. Actually, I saw a video of a guy, you know, the netting machine that they run the Christmas trees through.
Yeah.
I seen a video of a guy running and Superman threw in one. So I'm going to do that.
I cannot wait for that.
Yeah.
That'll be a good one.
Max will be having to wear the GoPro that day.
Yeah, for sure. We'll have to get one on you and him. We'll have to see it from both perspectives.
See who can do it better.
Oh, boy. Is Max signed up for this? Is he ready?
I don't know.
Does he know what he's signed
I'll
up
talk
for?
him into it.
You can talk him into anything.
Enough Michelob Ultras, we'll be set.
For sure. But yes, I think it's going to be, I'm very excited for this new endeavor and this new part of the show that we're bringing to YouTube.
It's going to be fun.
I definitely think so. And thank you for coming on to Let's Talk Short Track Racing and talking with us. And I can't wait to see everything that's coming, and can't wait for another few years with you.
Yeah. Awesome. Sounds great.
Yes.
Love it.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you guys next week.